What's up guys, Mickle here, and in this video we're going to cover a topic that I get questions on all the time on this channel, and that is when is the Ripple SEC case going to end and how is it going to end? I'm going to give you timelines for exactly when you can expect this case to wrap up, and I also want to talk about whether it's possible we still see a settlement. A lot of people have said that settlement is completely off the table. I want to talk about why that's not true and why, in my opinion, a settlement still might be the best option. Guys, I also want to say happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. We appreciate you so much, and I hope everyone has a great day. Guys, also, if you ever need a good place to buy some XRP, make sure to check out my favorite exchange Uphold down in the description of this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. It helps me out so much. And with all that said, let's jump right into it. Because I want to start this video out and just quickly show you something that I think everyone needs to see. This was a clip of Mickle on the Good Morning Crypto show the other day, and I just think this is absolutely critical for everyone to watch. Mickle is an attorney who's recently been blowing up in the XRP community, and for good reason. This dude is absolutely killing it, and whenever he can provide any kind of insight, I think it's really important we listen up because he is normally spot on with most of his takes. The other thing I want to just shout out real quick with Mickle is he's actually suing New York right now in order to make it clear why they delisted XRP from their approved asset list. Guys, this is a dude who's going pro bono to fight for the XRP community. So if you're not following him now, I highly suggest you do. He is doing a lot of really cool things for this community. And like I said before, he is always spot on with his takes, provides really good insight. So I want to play you this clip because he hits on a lot of important topics here that I think you guys need to hear. And he just does a way better job of explaining it than I could, so listen up to this.
Then it's Congress. It is the job of Congress to do oversight of the federal agencies, and so that's the problem. You know, Elizabeth Warren hands over the questions that she's going to ask in a public hearing, hands over the questions to Gary Gensler and says, here, Gary, I just wanted you to be prepared. Oh, and by the way, for your convenience, I've prepared some answers to these questions. Let me know if you have any problem with that. That is, in my view, oversight theater. It's not legitimate oversight, you know, and Congress, when they see what is happening time and time again, the judges are saying this is arbitrary and capricious decision-making. In debt box, you enforcement lawyers are lying. The Congress should do something and say, we're gonna pull back funding for the SEC until this House gets in order, because what you're doing is wrong, and it is our only leverage, is the power of the purse. That's what they should do. Yep. They're not doing it. It's you know, strongly worded letters. It's oversight theater, and you know what? Who's not going to play along with oversight theater?
John Deaton.
John Deaton. Yeah, he's not going to play along. That's why they're going to fight tooth and nail against him. And when it gets down to the last couple of months and the polls are showing this is close, they're going to go crazy attacking John because they don't want any part of a guy who's really going to fight for the, you know, the people, the unrepresented investors, you know, who are the victims of the Ripple case. You know, he's not going to play along with oversight theater. He's going to ask the hard questions. He's going to insist on subpoenas when appropriate, and he's going to insist that the appropriations process take into consideration that you're dealing with an agency that appears to be out of control.
Guys, I thought that was a fantastic interview clip right there. Shout out to the Good Morning Crypto show. They're killing it. And obviously, Mickle hits on some very important things involving John Deaton. Guys, I want to make sure I am doing everything in my power to make you guys understand it is absolutely critical that we all do everything we can to support John Deaton. If you live in Massachusetts, if you know anyone who lives in Massachusetts, make sure to reach out to them and let them know about John Deaton. Get them to get on board with Deaton for Senate. It is so critical to this entire industry because regardless of what the people in Congress and the Senate are saying now, they simply are not doing the things they're supposed to. A lot of congressmen have come come out saying that they don't support Gary Gensler. They say they're going to issue things like subpoenas. None of it has ever happened. We need people in Congress and in the Senate who are actually going to fight for us, actually do things they say they're going to do. And one thing we know about John Deaton is he absolutely delivers. No one said John Deaton could be successful suing the SEC. No one said John Deaton was going to make a difference. But what did he do? He got in the case, represented 75,000 plus XRP holders, and was the entire reason XRP was deemed not a security. Guys, if anyone can pull off this thing, it's John Deaton. And I just thought this was an excellent clip of Metal Law Man breaking down why this is so critical. I want to move on now, though, and get into some critical dates in the Ripple SEC case, when we can expect this case to wrap up, and most importantly, how I think it's going to wrap up. So guys, the really exciting news is I was really baking in for this case to be extended. The SEC has asked for a lot of extensions in this case. So a lot of the time predictions I was giving previously on when this case would end was really baking in an extension that we never got. So if we zoom in and take a look at this chart right here, and I just think this is a good way to look at the timeline because it's cool to see price correlated with time. What we can see is the beginning of this triangle right here, this light green triangle, is essentially where we start waiting for a decision for Judge Torres. The last day of documentation in this case was May 6th. So that means starting May 6th, now we're just waiting for Judge Torres to come out with a ruling in this case. Now guys, people like Metal Law Man, John Deaton, and Jeremy Hogan have all said we're essentially waiting 60 to 90 days for this case to end. That would put us at about July, late August. Now, I put this triangle going out to late August, early September, just to be conservative. But what you can see is right now, we can essentially get a decision from Judge Torres any day now, and XRP is coiled up and waiting for that positive news. Now, I think it's very likely that XRP kind of just trades within this range until we get that bullish catalyst that the case is over. We can start getting announcements. We can start getting things like a Ripple IPO and XRP ETF, customers in the United States using XRP clarity on ODL, and this will be the bullish catalyst to make XRP break out big time. Now, a lot of people have asked me, is Judge Torres going to rule or are we going to get a settlement? I think at this point, it is 100% certain Judge Torres is going to rule. I do not think we are going to get a settlement before the ruling, but it is possible that Judge Torres makes a ruling in this case, and then both parties look at the ruling and build a settlement off that. Now, I want to talk about why that would actually be the best case scenario real quick. One of the things that is so critical about a settlement in this case is a settlement cannot be appealed. So if we can get Judge Torres to come out and issue a ruling that is favorable for Ripple, then maybe the SEC, to maybe get some more wins on their side, or at least frame it like a win, actually meets with Ripple to craft a settlement that is favorable for Ripple, the company. What we know is Brad Garlinghouse has been extremely outspoken that he would settle with the SEC so long as XRP gets clarity and Ripple can run their business in the United States. A settlement would be critical because it would mean no appeal. And the only bad thing about getting a ruling at this point in the case is the SEC could still appeal it to the Second Circuit. So I think this is super important to understand. While I want Ripple to win big, crush the SEC in court and all of that, a settlement still has some massive perks in that we will never have to worry about this case coming back ever again. Now, the other thing I've talked about on this channel that I think would be really good for this case not going to the Second Circuit is if Gary Gensler is kicked out of the SEC beforehand, if Gary Gensler steps down from the SEC, if the case ends right before we have a change in administration and Gary Gensler is essentially packing his bags and doesn't have the time to appeal, all of those would be extremely bullish things. And then the last very bullish thing for this case not going to appeal would be if Coinbase actually went to the Second Circuit first. The SEC really doesn't have any good facts in the Ripple SEC case, and bad facts make bad law. The SEC brought the Ripple SEC case with really bad facts, and that issue is that they can't introduce new facts at the Second Circuit. The SEC actually has a much stronger case against Coinbase. Coinbase has listed some sketchy tokens, and they obviously do things like staking that there's questions about whether or not that's a security. So the SEC has a much stronger case against Coinbase. So if they could actually get Coinbase to the Second Circuit before Ripple, well, the SEC might just say, you know what, we're not going to keep fighting this losing case. Let's try to pick a better case to bring forward. So guys, these are all potential outcomes I see around the corner. First and foremost, we need to see Judge Torres rule. It's going to happen somewhere within this triangle, somewhere within this range. And from there, we're going to find out whether or not we're sticking with that settlement and going to the Second Circuit, or Ripple and the SEC get together, hash out a settlement. We put this case behind us, and XRP and Ripple are the only cryptocurrency company and cryptocurrency digital asset with clarity in the United States to operate for their full intended use case. Guys, that's the scenario I want, to be honest with you. I want to move on from this case. I don't want to touch the Second Circuit. I want to wrap things up with a settlement, put this all behind us, and get focused on institutional adoption of this asset class. Regardless, I know it's going to come. I know we are going to have a day where the SEC is proactive and productive with this industry. But for now, I'm just happy to see mass adoption is still fully on the way, and corrupt government regulators can't stop us. Guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this update. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. It really does mean so much. And for now, Mickle out.